Okay, I think I'm on. I think I can see some chat. Hello. I can see two people. Awesome. Oh my gosh, I finally made it. I had a whole list of things I wanted to talk about, and I was like, oh, these things, and I'll do this thing. And oh gosh, I thought I was fine. I'm going to do best. I'm going to make sure it's set for 8 o'clock, and because everyone will be in bed by 8 o'clock, right? Everyone will be asleep by 8 o'clock. No one's asleep. No one's asleep. I don't even. I think they may never sleep again. Albert is 4. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying not to wobble around too much. Albert is 4, and we had and as you know, Betty is 7 and Charles is 9. So bedtime is a bit staggered. But we had our first birthday party today, since 2019, and of course everyone's dysregulated and full of sugar, which means I'm not sure anyone will sleep until I don't know, maybe tomorrow. I know that I want to go to sleep right now, but I'm glad that there's some people here, and I'm going to try not to wiggle around too much. I think the laptop is still shaky. But yeah, so let's go on. Welcome to my first ever live. I'm sorry I am almost half an hour late. If you know me in real life, I'm usually never late to anything. I'm one of those people who is like religiously early. I'll leave half an hour early to make sure that I'm on time. I'd rather wait outside something than be late. Um, but yeah, so welcome. So, hello, Stacey. Stacey is my sister. You can see her in the comment section. She's in the chat. And lovely, lovely Naomi. I'm glad you're here as well. I'm glad you made it. Hello, Matthew Williams. You have 9-year-old twins. Wow! Howdy from Checkmans. Hey! I have never been to the US. I have an uncle who lives in West Virginia, and I've always wanted to go. But I think Texas is a nice place. Chile is usually famous for chili. Unschooling, that's really cool. I would love to feel confident enough to unschool completely and not be a workbook kind of person, but I am, and I'm actually surrounded by some workbooks now because I'm just marking. I hate marking, I'm just looking at stuff, and I've been planning things for next year as well. What are you, what does unschooling mean? So unschooling is a very unstructured way of home education. Um, there may be workbooks, but it's all child led. The child will need their education, and I totally support the ethos that I really think children should be in control of their education. As adults, we are in control of our education, and it took me a really long time to learn that I was in charge of my education. Um, yeah, education should be natural. Yeah, definitely, education should be natural. Yeah, we've been taught that we can't do it on the amount of people say to me, "Oh, I could never homeschool. I'm not smart enough," and I always have I always have a big thing with that. Like, you were educated by a system that made you believe that you weren't educated enough to pass that education on to somebody else. Right? Always really confuses me about when people say that. And everyone definitely education should definitely be natural. Homework 77. Hi. That's 4, 6, and 13. Those are some interesting gaps for getting stuff done. I find 4, 7, and 9 interesting sometimes with those 3 different levels. And it's like that scene from Jurassic World where the guy, Chris Pratt, is holding off 3 velociraptors. It's like, oh, oh. Sometimes I feel a bit like that. I feel like maybe 13 is the 13-year-old more helpful. Excited to hear my news. Oh well, that's not for today. That's hopefully next week. There'll be a video where I talk about it. Um, it's coming. It's exciting. Good. It's good. Um, oh, it's good. Oh, I swear. I don't know if you can see on my videos. I just say I don't even edit yawns out anymore. I can just yawn. Oh. Yes, I did compare my children to velociraptors. I think I think they would be reasonably Velociraptor. Velociraptor, very cool. I should be told many informations about the Velociraptor. I just opened my Google right now because there's a paleontologist, a budding paleontologist back on the planet. I see there's 5 of you in the world. There were 5 of you watching. Come and join the comment section. I'm reading everything. Very cool. So, what's everyone been up to this week? People who are on the chat. I have been still in shock that we got to 1,000. Because a year ago I was like, oh my goodness, I have 100 people have clicked subscribe. What? And now I'm still in shock about 1,000. How did I find the technical guys going live? I had a bit of a panic when I got down here because I'd set it all up in advance, and I found that okay. And then, and then got down here and was like, Stacey had texted me, and I was like, no, I completely forgotten. I'm there going, darling, lie down, darling, lie down, darling, lie down, darling, lie down, trying to stay as calm as possible, but getting through gritty teeth. I got down here and I was like, I don't know how to get back. I don't know how to get onto the live. Now it's done. But I went into content, the little thing live, and it said, you from live control room. And I was like, that sounds like a good place. And that's why I found myself clicked start streaming, and it was. So once I worked out where to go, I found it quite easy. Yeah, I found it fun once it's on. But I like it. I like seeing the comments, really interact with people as they're here, which is nice. Because I always feel like, when I've done a video and uploaded it, going back and then I read the comments and someone's written a comment about the video, and I'm like, oh, what was that in reference to? Hang on a second. And sometimes I have to re-watch my video and then to find out what they were commenting on, because I get once it's on there, I'm like, blah, done, finished. Definitely no, you need to be brave enough, because I would be on your live and like, I have so many questions. Yeah, I think that would be a very cool, like a international home education route would be very cool. I think that there's lots of people who have have this like predetermined opinion what home education is like, and then how do you find teaching the curriculum? How do you find, how do they socialise? And it's always the same questions all the time. And I'm like, I feel like I should have like a merch line that just has all of the answers to the questions. Like, I don't always teach the curriculum. They socialise just fine, thanks. Ask them how their day is, they'll tell you. And like have like a t-shirt with all of the frequently asked questions on, or maybe I could carry pamphlets around with me. I suppose if people kept asking them, I could just throw them. They were like really good vibes, very cool. Just have freedom in a book. I can imagine the 13-year-old Trimline 77 is the most challenging. Charles is 9, and I'm already seeing puberty just around the corner, like changing his sleep, changing how much he eats, what he wants to eat. I can see it taking him, and I've got myself a book by Sarah Ockwell Smith. I love her Jennifer Pancake stuff. It's called Between, and it's all about between years. Oh my goodness, I should have read this before we got to 9. I've been kind of keeping an eye on that, ready for the teenage years coming around the corner. I'm not excited. I don't think me like, oh, he's such a lovely boy, like he is, and I really hope he stays that way. Yes, all about socialization. Just socializing right now. Like, I think that lots of people have this idea in their head, don't they, that socialization can only happen with children of the same age. And, the birthday party today, Albert was the youngest by 2.5 years, and he was having a great time chatting with everybody. And I think Charles was the oldest by 2.5 years. So, he was socializing with everybody, adults and children alike. And when we go to shops and stuff, they're always like, hello, how are you, good morning, to people we see and things like that. And, they love to have a good I get to chat with people in the street, like, with me, if I start talking to the market day, for example, in our town, they love to talk. There's a school that has gifted problems, or child loss and habitat, with the person who runs that school, because he also likes gifted problems. Oh, you've got some lovely ones in today, and have a lovely chat with them. And that's socialising, isn't it? You know how to talk to people of all ages. Whereas I remember his age and being really quite uncomfortable talking to adults, even if I was with my parents. I remember, my dad and my mum are the kind of people that know everybody in our town. You can't walk down the road to them without them meeting somebody that they know. And I remember being 10 and being like, oh my gosh, and didn't necessarily know how to join in the conversation in a productive way, or even how to behave. Like, I just felt really, almost like socially paralysed. Whereas with my children who have a social or emotional communicational disability don't have any issues doing that. So, take my business. Shut up. That's what I have to say when people ask me that question. Obviously, I don't tell them to shut up, really. Yeah, talk to them. Yeah, they're just children. Yeah, I do. I've got some books down on the floor there, because apparently that's why I teach them. It is because I've always been away with that. I've got lots of books down there. It's like my storage system at the moment. And one of them's the teacher's book, and they are meant for school-age children, school children. And the amount of stuff in there, and how, like, you must get them to do this, you must get them to say this. I'm like, no, I must know. I did have somebody who works in social care, came to me a little while ago. Um, you need to have visits, don't you? And I was like, no, like, pretty sure it's a legal requirement. I was like, no, like, I'm happy to be corrected. I was like, well, this is me correcting you. We don't need to legally have visits. We don't need to legally follow the curriculum. We don't need to legally be checked up on. We don't need to legally be on a register. We're not dangerous dogs, or the other kind of people that do the register. We don't need anything not quite. Do I find it tiring? Home education, yes. Yes, I mean, I think I've got yeah, I do find it tiring, and I get to the end of the day like this sometimes, and I think to myself, are you insane? Are you a crazy person? Could you just send them to school like everybody else? Um, and sometimes I get one of those days. Sometimes maybe maybe TMI, but sometimes I'm really hormonal and I'm really tired, and I just want to be alone, or I just want to drink tea that's hot, or I just want someone to stop talking to me about Minecraft. And I think this is all a mistake. I should have put them in school from the beginning, because there's no way I could get them used to it. I'm happy with school now. I've not really robbed my own back, I've destroyed my entire life. And I kind of just go to sleep in my head. And then something beautiful happened, like, obviously the way they're interacting with each other and how close they are, how much they really, really love each other. Not just like a you're my sister or slash brother, so I'm happy to, but they really appreciate each other as people. And I might say to them, you know what? Right now I'm really tired and my body is really stressed. I'm only having a hard time making kind of choices together. And because we're together all the time, we're so in tune with me. I'm, attuned to them, they're so tuned to me as well. They'll go, oh, you like tea? No, you like your other one's gone cold. Yeah, and Becky will go, do you want me to get your biscuit? And they kind of realise that sometimes that I've had enough, and I need a bit of a time out myself, and they'll put me in time out. So when it's tiring, I do find it is very tiring. And sometimes I wish, like on Wednesdays, I have a horse riding lesson, and sometimes I wish I didn't, like I had childcare, like I could do it in school hours, and I could just not worry. But yeah, it is tiring, and sometimes I feel that I must be doing things. But then I also feel like I can't complain about it, because, well, I chose to do this. So, I mean, I do Carly Booker, hello. This is my 6 week of school. She's more social. How much have you drawn? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. That happens to so many people. So many people say, um, you know, my child was really resourced. Um, so I needed, and they came out of school and they were fine. Oh, sorry, you're on computer switching memory. Bye. It's lovely to have you. Yeah, Carly, that happens so many times with so many people. You're definitely not alone. Yeah, I don't remember much of what I learned in school. I think I've got I mean, I know enough French that I could ask where the toilet is and also ask for a ham sandwich or a cheese sandwich. But anything else, I would be completely. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't remember much of what I learned in school at all. Yes, yeah. I mean, I do wear a mask, but that's not appropriate. You do you. That's fine with you. That's fine with me. Um, but yeah, I think that when we do stand up to children for their emotions, for their feelings, and they see you seeing them, if that makes sense. They go, I see that you're seeing me. You're listening to me. You're appreciating me. That they then feel the same way about you, and I think it's all about this culture of you have to earn respect. Um, like you don't earn respect, you just get it. Like as adults, that we just get respect because we're adults. I don't buy into that at all. I think that I need to earn my children's respect in the same way that people need to earn my respect. Um, and I know that some people may disagree with that, and I'm not a passive parent at all, but um, I earn my children's respect by, as I say, sticking up for them and showing them that they are worthy of my attention and my respect, and listening to them. When I do that, I get that respect back because they also see that I am worthy to be listened to, and then they feel that about other people. If someone disrespects my children, they're just going to be like, nope. They don't buy into the whole respect for elders just because they're old. And I don't do that. I think that even old people need to earn it by being kind and being respectful themselves. Yeah, definitely. School is socialization, association, isn't it, rather than socialization? Yeah, exactly. Like my children have such deep friendships because they've chosen who they want to be friends with. Like it's not been picked by who's going to be in the class. And they have such deep friendships. They really love them, like all the way through lockdown. Yeah. So you see, my older two are not big on friends, not because and they're not lonely, they're just autistic and they perceive friendship in different ways than I would. I miss my friends dreadfully over lockdown, and I'm so glad I get to spend time with them now. Charles and Beth just didn't in the same way, but there were a couple of friends that they really did want to keep up with. It just took them a long time to realise actually I really miss them, and they have really enjoyed keeping the friendships going when we would be on video chats and things like that. But I don't have many friends that I went to school with anymore. If people say there's 20 people, I would have thought my friends when I was in senior school, for example. I'm really friends with like 3, maybe 4 of them now. And those are people that we have things in common now, where when we were at school, none of us had anything in common apart from the fact that we hung around each other at school, and maybe we're the same type of person. Like we were, sporty, someone was sporty, or someone was nerdy, or whatever like that. And a real like lad going on here. I don't know if anyone else is doing that. Yes, school sets them up to be a productive member of society. And what careers best for them? Yeah, like it's all about. I do feel it can be quite a lot about. Um, you're here to not develop yourself, but develop the skills you need to do a certain career, and that's a bit like, forward. And where is the library of French? Is pretty much it. Well, if you ever go to France, you will be able to find out where the library is, which may find you a French dictionary, which helps you with the rest. I'm just going to see, because I did get a couple of questions pop up. Oh, no, it wasn't a question, it was someone just checking it up, but I think I hadn't dropped off the face of the planet. Oh, life's been a bit crazy recently, and I've managed to film quite far ahead. So, like, we've got some stuff filmed, and something that will be popping up on the channel. Just things that we've done. I'm starting a little series called Home Educates Me. So I am filming um, a lesson, not necessarily like a nature walk, but like a lesson doing maths with them, me doing English with them, or a history unit study, or a geography lab book, or anything like that, art project, and I'm filming it, and then putting the basically raw footage. So I'm not editing out things if they ask me awkward questions, or they get distracted, or they anything. Even if you see, you might see me being a bit snappy if I'm really grumpy or anything like that. I'm putting into the raw. This is what it looks like. This is what home education looks like. Um, and I'm doing a series. I think it's going to be it's going to be like 12 episodes long of various different things, just so people can see what it's really, really like, and that it's not, I'm not this crazy person. Normal person. Do I have Telegram? I don't know. No. No. How long have you been in education for? How did that fit? How long? I have always been educated. None of my children have ever been to school. So Charles is 9.5, and we started formally home educating him the term after he was 5. So that would have been. I can't do maths really quickly. Not when I'm tired. He was supposed to start school 20. Yeah, so he was supposed to start school September 2016, so we officially started home educating him in the April of 2017. Um, yeah, it was 2016, so I was pregnant with Albert. So yeah, 2016, so I've been officially in home education. And have I relaxed my approach over the years? Yes and no. I think I changed my approach over the years rather than like relaxing it. I've always been very much like, I've always felt that we should follow the curriculum for English and maths, just because I would like them to take the functional skills or GCSEs in English and maths when they're older. So it opens up things like college courses or apprenticeships or anything like that for them. And I teach the curriculum in English and maths. So I've always done that, and I've always felt like that was really important to us. I think the rest of it, I'm going to yawn again. When I see other people do lives, I have no idea how they don't yawn all the way through. Like whenever I talk out loud, I yawn. We've changed our approach over the years, so we tried to be very structured at the beginning because of Charlie's autism. We felt like that would be the best way to go for him, but actually it really didn't work for him, and it really didn't work for me as a teacher either. I was like, oh my god, just reading from this text is telling me, I was just bored out of my mind. So I think we did relax that and then change it to let's do English and maths by the curriculum and science now. But everything else, if they want to learn French for a week, and then the next week they're like, I don't want to do languages now, and then 2 weeks later, like, I want to learn Swahili now, like that's totally fine with me because um, I think I felt more like everything should be structured and that I should have a plan for everything. I was a big planner, and now I'm not. Apart from English and maths, I do plan that now. But everything else, I'm like probably every half term, like going by the school term, like every 6 weeks or so, I sit down with Charles and Beth say, is there anything in particular that you want to learn about? Do you have any questions that you want answered that we can turn into a nice poster or a lab book, or we can just watch this documentary on and spend some time talking about? And I did this recently, and Charles said, oh, I want to learn about the lungs. And I was like, okay, really random, let's go for it. We'll go down that rabbit hole. And Betty said, oh, I want to learn about volcanoes. And I was like, awesome. I don't remember learning about volcanoes for like for ages. Let's talk about volcanoes. And I was like, oh, maybe we could talk about, you know, Hawaii and the volcanoes there. Maybe we could talk about Vesuvius and Pompeii. Like I was just my brain was going, oh, this is the perfect opportunity to talk about all of the things. And I think Betty wants to learn about Australia as well. And they both talked about. Gone off the tangent now. Oh god, it's. Oh, I promise you, I'm using early night, don't I? They want to do a virtual trip around the world. So they want to plan out a trip around the world, and then we learn about every country that we stop in. And they want to plan it all out from like how much it would cost us, what planes we would take, where we would go, where we would stop over, and all that sort of thing. So I would have never thought of doing that when they were younger. I'd have been like, that's not what Philip says. But now I'm like, yeah. And if we don't finish it, then we don't finish it because it's run its course. They've learned what they need to learn. Yeah, I love that. I love that idea. I think that's one of the reasons why I started the channel was I wanted other people to feel like they had the access to, that they could access what's inside of them as well as that. Yeah, I love the idea of having community where, you know, for like online lessons. And, I love that idea. Pop me an email or a chat. I know it would say you were on school. Is that a question for me, Stacey? Or are you talking to someone else in the comments? Thank you so much. I like your cat emoji. I don't think can I do something in the chat? Oh, I can. I'm not techy at all. I don't really do my laptop is struggling with the live stream. And it's managing anything. Oh, it did send. Hurrah! Jesse, are you still there? Yeah. I know a couple of people who have always been educated and then put their children in school, and they had the complete opposite experience. They actually really their children really enjoyed school after never being in school at all. But then you also hear lots of people going, yawning again. Oh, lots of people going back to school and then going, oh yeah, still hate it. I think lots of people always say to me, when are you plan like will they ever go to school? Are you put them in school for senior school? And I'm like, no, I did not enjoy senior school, and I think that my little guys would get me breakfast by lots of kids that aren't even comprehensive. I'm sure they're all lovely people, but my children I've raised them to be weird by, mainstream school um, mainstream school standards. I think they would be deemed as weird. I mean, I certainly. So what sort of age would you talking about? So I'm planning to home educate them all the way through their GCSEs if you take them. And I would stop them. I would be learning along with them with their GCSEs because it's different content than when I was there doing my GCSEs 15 years ago. And then I would say to them, that would be the furthest I would be willing to go. But what I kind of have in my head for them, whether they'll do it or not is another matter. Like, I hope that they will take my influence when they get to that age, is that they wait, instead of doing GCSEs at 16, like they would if they were at school, that I would like them to wait. And then when they're 16, when you're kind of 14 to 16, they start going to, sorry, start going to more things by themselves in kind of 14, 16 range. So I think more things by themselves, group things, maybe doing things that they're interested in, tutored things, because there are groups like that in our local area. And then when they're 16, instead of having already taken their GCSEs, they can go to a local college, based in Northern College, usually Armitage, so it's very, very well known in New Forest. And they can do their GCSEs there once they're over 16. So they can do, I think they've got six maybe 8 courses they choose. They can do their GCSEs in a year, and then they can do their A levels for 2 years. So they would do it for 3 years instead of 2, and they do their GCSEs and then their A levels if they wanted to do that. They wanted to do it that way, and then they can go on and do whatever they wanted, or whatever, or they could just do into maths there and whatever, or they can get English and maths functional skills on something like Learn Direct. I mean, you could go do that right now. Any of you could. You could sign up to Learn Direct and do those functional skills, which are equivalent to GCSE. So I think GCSE will be the point where I didn't do well in my A levels, so I wouldn't feel comfortable home educating them beyond GCSE because I did very well in my GCSE. And at the end of the day, to pass the exam, you just need to be able to, do the textbook, because that's what the exam is for. How much have you learned from this textbook, and can you parrot it out onto a piece of paper? You can, hurrah, or you can't. So, yeah, there is. I had a massive influx of people coming onto the channel, and then also in the local area. 6 years ago when I started home educating, there were 4 families in our town, and we all had children of a similar age. And now there's probably 20, maybe 30 families in the local area in our town and the surrounding villages that people do home educating, and that's mad. All these people have become disillusioned with the system and said, you know what, this isn't my country anymore, I'm done. And the surprising amount of them, the parents are teachers. They've just gone, I've had enough, I can't do this anymore. And I totally get it. I only have to plan the education for 3 people, and I couldn't imagine having to do it for 30 and try my best to jump through all the hoops the government are setting me, but then also try and respect the children's individuality. Madness. And I really appreciate the teachers always try to do. But yeah, the system is broken. And teachers are amazing people. I'm not sure I would want to be one for anyone but my kids. Sometimes I'm not even sure I want to be theirs. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of, I think governments everywhere have a lot of issues when it comes to education. I don't think there's ever one size fits all, and I think I know a lot of the teachers I know would probably say the same thing. It's not one size fits all, but it's the same with home education. The whole house is very quiet now. I'm wondering if anyone's place respect. I've got 3 children. How many of these are interested? Anyone? I think if Albert was awake, he would have come downstairs by now. Mother, what are you doing? Let's talk to quick. How many of my children do you reckon are asleep? Because the house is very quiet. It's like too quiet. But it's not mischievous quiet. I've given some code words. I love it. We refer to school children as muggles, and we are, we're the the students of Hogwarts. That's how Charles and I talk about people who are in school. Sometimes we say muggles, like especially during the summer holidays. We're like, muggles everywhere. Yeah. Bess won't be reading. She's still not there yet. We are exploring dyslexia with her because she's been doing phonics with her for 2 years and she's not moved beyond reception level. much to her dismay and annoyance. I'm a firm believer of she'll read when she's ready, but she maintains that she just can't get the hang of it. And there's a so disorganised room right now. We've been working on this with her. If anyone's ever seen it before, and to try and get her reading. Looks like someone spilled some juice on it. And it starts off by teaching them the sounds of the letters. I'm not sure how well you can see that. I might turn a light on. It's getting a bit dark in here. It starts off by teaching them the sounds, and then checking to see if they can do it. 3 lines means that she can recognise the sounds, and then you move on to 2 sounds together. I'm not sure how well you can see that. So a couple of sounds together, and she. Oh yeah, hang on. I've got to leave the room to do that, so you can just enjoy the dog for a minute. Oh, I've got sellotape stuck to my foot. I don't know how that happened. Oh, there we go. That's better, isn't it? Oh, yeah, sellotape. But yeah, she's doing really well. She's doing lots of nonsense words at the moment. We've got to see them a bit better now. It's still really blurry. But yeah, and then it moves on to real, like loads of nonsense words, then it's real words, and then by the she's got 4 pages to go, and then she'll be reading sentences according to this. So she's still in disbelief. She's like, no, I'll never learn to read. So I think it's just working on confidence with her. Right, well, Lily Dog's been poorly today. I'm sure some of you have seen Lily Dog on some of my videos before. She's had a bit of a tummy ache. She's been a bit moody and heavy today, isn't she? Oh, 37 minutes. I'm starting to get really, really tired now. Yeah, baby dog. Baby dog. I never talk to children in the way I talk to animals. When I see animals, I'm like, hello. Oh, the lovely baby doggy little kitten or whatever they are. With children, I'm like, hello, how are you? And I talk in a normal voice, like a normal person. But when I'm with an animal, I'm just like, at them, which seems ridiculous because, a baby can actually understand you when you speak to them in real words. But the dog's like, huh? Oh, don't say hi, God, when? Oh. I think we're changing her food because it's not. I think she's getting constipated and getting down in the dumps and she just doesn't eat properly and then it makes it worse and all that. Bit of a rubbish couple of days for animals in our house. We've got an ill guinea pig as well, and I think that he might be. Well, we've got to go back for a checkup at the vet on Monday, and I have a very distinct feeling that he won't be coming home, which is a bit um, yeah. Anyway, I think it's been 40 minutes almost now, and I'm absolutely knackered. Oh, I've got to do yours again then. I think I will leave it here. It's been really lovely to chat to you all. I'm so glad that a couple of you popped on to say hi. What, like the cereal? All brown cereal, as in the all brown that tastes like cardboard. That kind of cereal. Oh, I will tell you my email. So my email, all lowercase, is adventureallthewayuk@gmail.com. I will write it in the comments. I love receiving emails. Please do email me. Anyone who wants to chat or wants a little bit of friendly advice or just wants to rant, I'm always up for when. There we go. My email is in the comments. Please feel free to send me an email. Right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give this dog some food, and I think I'm gonna have a cup of tea. I might even have a hot chocolate. To end the day. So thank you all so much for joining. What's today? Friday. There will be another video out on Monday. You will be watching on Monday, I believe it might be, Bessie making a pavlova all by herself. We've been practicing lots of life skills and stuff with her. So hopefully, I think that's really fun. No, it's pick your own, and then it's pavlova. Pick your own and recipe planning. Talking to Bessie about that, and then we've got Bessie making pavlova. That's what's coming up next week. And then we've got a volcano project, which I think there's going to be paper mache involved. Okay, I am off. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed. It makes my day, and I'm so grateful for all of your support. Keep me going. The dog's sick of herself. Nice, Lil. Thanks. And with that, good night, everybody. See you soon. Yeah, sounds an adventure. It's awesome. Bye. Mwah. Still nothing happening.